IFL TV, MTK Global. We're in your call today. With me, I've got none other than trainer Paddy Fitzpatrick. Firstly, nice to see you, Paddy. How are you keeping, sir?
Merry Christmas, sir.
Merry Christmas to you, indeed.
You good?
I'm very well. I'm very well. And we know you're here on a bit of a scouting mission today. Would that be right?
That's not what I got told. I thought we were coming up to see Katie Taylor, an Irish girl, do her thing.
I just assuming you'd have one eye on a potential clash with Lawrence Okoli for your man Luke Watkins.
Well, it'd be nice to see him, but we missed it. Yeah, man. We got a text on the way here. Hiya, brother. We got a text on the way here, so we missed it, but I heard he did his job, so fair play.
Let's talk a little bit about what's going on with the stable at the minute. Commonwealth champion Luke Watkins, as we mentioned, potentially big fights for him in 2018.
Yeah, he's got the Commonwealth title now, and there's other men that want to have that title. Now it's just about getting him the right fights. So we got a couple of things going on, and we'll sort it out and make our mind up in the next couple of weeks.
Anything you can tell us what's on the radar? Who's in the sort of mix potentially as opponents?
No, I mean we'd like a unification with Matty Askin. I've been talking to Paul, his manager, since he got the Commonwealth title for the last couple of months. I've been talking to him. We're getting a little bit closer. We'll see what happens with that.
We've seen some of your old fighters and some of the fighters you've worked with. One in particular, George Groves, got some massive fight coming up against Eubank Jr. Firstly, what chances do you give of St. George Groves retaining his title against Eubank?
I have George as a favourite in that, but it's an excellent fight. You know, he sparred George plenty of times, and George has always said that he's very, very strong. Not necessarily the punching, but his strength. He's a strong fighter. His style about taking it to you and getting inside, he will do that. He will get inside. He will back him up. He will have him against the ropes. It's if George stays composed enough to deal with that. It's not necessarily the punching power of Chris Eubank, but it's the relentlessness of Chris Eubank. But there's one thing about George Groves: when it's time to step up, he does it better than any other man.
George Groves will be the bigger man on the night, being a natural career super middleweight. Do you think that'll be a telling difference come fight night?
No, because it was the same as when they used to spar. George was the bigger man. Styles, you know, Chris Eubank's got a great chin. He's got an excellent mindset. I love his mindset when he's in the gym. He doesn't like to talk to anyone. He keeps himself to himself and goes about his business. The size overall on the night might play a difference, but Chris Eubank has got a great chin, and his style to get in on your chest, he's going to be a lot more comfortable inside than George. Of course, he's got to get inside, but he used to get inside in sparring. But I will still have George a favourite in that. Like I said, when it's time to step up, he does it very well.
Would you say George Groves used to get the better of Chris Eubank Jr. in sparring, or would you say it was pretty even?
It was back and forth. George was never the type of dude that would spar as if it was a fight. He would spar because he wanted to work on something. So he wouldn't care that if you were judging it, if he was losing rounds in order to work on the things that he needed to be working on. So you can't really go by a spar.
Thoughts on James DeGALE suffering defeat against Caleb Truex to lose his IBF world title? Bit of a shock for James DeGALE, expecting to come through that fight. What are your thoughts on that?
He didn't look as if his right arm was any different than it was before he got operated on. They said he was using it sparingly. He wasn't using it at all. Even when he was going with power shots, it was mostly doubling up and dribbling up the left hand. He very, very rarely put combinations together. When he did, I think it was more with a fighter's mentality and with that champion's mentality, as opposed to because he felt comfortable doing it. So whether it was because the shoulder wasn't as good as he thought, or because he was second guessing it, I don't know.
Also a big fight that sort of disappointed a lot of boxing fans was Vasily Lomachenko, Guillermo Rigondeaux. Everybody expected to be a lot better than the fight panned out to be, but firstly, what are your thoughts on it?
I said before the fight, I think the difference for Lomachenko will be his gears. Rigondeaux is excellent at what he does. You don't win 2 Olympic gold medals and 2 world champions in different weights without being excellent. But he does fight very much in the same gear. He might let the combinations go a bit quicker, but his feet and that are always in the same gear. And to me, Lomachenko has the ability to go through the gears up and down. He can start quick and ease down and pick it up again, and that was the difference. And when you have somebody who's been so dominant like Rigondeaux, to not win a round, you know, it couldn't have been his hand, could it? He wasn't even landing his hand. The few times he did land, it was to the stomach. You know, he just broke his heart and made him quit, didn't he?
Who would you like to see Vasily Lomachenko in with next? In your opinion, what fight ticks the boxes?
Anybody. I'd watch him shadowboxing, man. He's anybody at all. That dude is just class. He exudes class. He can do everything. He's a complete fighter. 296-1 as an amateur. You know, and the only reason to me he lost that second fight as a pro against Orlando Salido is he still had the mentality of an amateur. You could see him those first 6 or 8 rounds when they'd get a bit rough or dirty. He was expecting the referee to kind of go clean it up or mind your heads or stop that. He had the mentality of 297 fights as an amateur, and it was in that last third of the fight when he realised, hang on, this isn't the same game, and he switched it up, but it was too little, too late. But it'd be a good man to beat him, a very good man to beat him. Did
you happen to see Stephen Smith's world title challenge against Vargas, and what were your thoughts on that?
I didn't see the fight. I saw the pictures. I heard that he wanted to carry on. That says enough about the man, but you can't let a man carry on with an injury like that. So I don't know how the fight was going up until then. But, you know, when a man has an injury like that and he still wants to carry on, it says enough about him. I didn't see the fight itself, though.
Paddy Fitzpatrick, great to get you back on IFL TV. Thank you very much for your time today, sir. And we have yourself a good Christmas, a good New Year, and we'll catch you soon.
God bless. Take care. Peace. Bye-bye.